All right. Welcome to the runningrestaurants.com podcast. I am your host, Jamie Oikel, and today I've got a great one question with episode for you with Nick Fosberg, founder of the Bar and Restaurant Success website. Nick also owns 2 bars and restaurants in the Chicagoland area. Plus, he is an author of several books on successfully marketing and operating a bar and restaurant business. So, Nick, listen, man, unprecedented times. Before I ask kind of the question of the day, how are you guys doing your operations, your family? What's going on?
We're doing good. We're maintaining, just being innovative and coming up with new specials, new promotions, keep advertising on Facebook, using our email list, using our text list, communicating with customers, and, just doing whatever we can to, just change the business model, change your strategy, and do all that you can, and just try to do more than the competition.
Yeah, man, pivot and roll. So yeah, good. And so we're going to get into some of what you're doing yourself, what you do with your clients today. So let me get right to that. For operators, what they can do right now, because if you are open and you are doing curbside takeout delivery, you do want to maximize that. So what do you think, 2, maybe 3 email type marketing tactics restaurants can use, right now to get the phone ringing, to get the online sales coming in? What do you think?
Yeah, before I jump into those promotions, one thing I want to say about email marketing, there's a lot of bar restaurant owners who say, email marketing doesn't work, and they're right to an extent. It doesn't work if you don't know how to make it work. So I just want to give a couple tips on email marketing, because it is by far my favorite way to increase revenue for my bars and for my clients. But email marketing brings an average of 42 to 1 ROI. It's damn near free when you're using, stuff like MailChimp, Constant Contact. It's very inexpensive. But the key to email is what the big mistake I see so many people doing is that they're promoting 100% of the time, right? Blasting out their specials, promotions, which yes, there's a time and place to do that. Using fancy graphics all the time is like a newsletter, and yes, there's a time and place to do that. But I like to get more personal. I've studied a lot about copywriting and how to build relationship with people through your marketing. Talk to them as they are a human being. The way you write your emails, write it as if you're talking, across the bar, across the table to someone, instead of saying, you guys and whatnot. So it's like, how would you write an email to a friend? That's how you would write this one email to your list of 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 people on your email list, whatever it may be. But be conversational. And also bring up your family, bring up what you did over the weekend. What are you doing during quarantine? Let people in on your life. So, even if they don't really know you, they start to feel like they know you on a personal level. The last thing I'll just say also about this is your headline, your subject line is your headline of the email. So the better the headline, obviously, the more opens you're going to get. And we're getting hundreds of emails a day. I forgot what the stats were, what the average person gets in email. I think it's over 100 a day.
Too email many.
Box. Yeah, it's too many. But the key that I've learned that gets the most open rates from learning from experts and then taking that information and doing it is writing curiosity driven subject lines. So when they're reading it, you want them getting to say, what's this about? Instead of today's, whatever today's special is, or, $5 burgers, whatever it may be in that subject line, draw in some curiosity. So an example of this would be, I'm trying to think of the last one I did last week. So I did an email actually for a friend of mine. He owns a roofing company. We just got hit with a bunch of hail, and I just wanted to send some leads and some business his way. And so the subject line I put was, my friend wanted me to send you this. So I'm just giving an example of a curiosity driven subject line. Well, who's your friend and what's inside, right? Or another curiosity driven subject line could be something, for the bar restaurant business would be, again, it's kind of hard to do right off the top of my head, but sometimes what could it be?
Well, I will officially tell you this while he thinks about it. Nick is awesome at this. Like, I get his emails, and it does exactly what he's talking about. It makes you want to read it, and you read the whole darn thing. He uses this personal voice. It tells a story, and sometimes it's just content. Sometimes, yeah, there's some stuff to sell in there, but practice what he preaches. If we'll talk about his website later on, but if you can get to his site and be on his email list just to see the way he does it in his voice, it's actually very, very good, Nick. So let's go right into the email that actually kind of made this call want to happen, because one of the emails that he sent out was specifically about COVID, and that's where we are right now. We're sitting mid to late April. People still don't know what's happening, but you do want to maximize your thing. And so you put out a couple ideas in an email that restaurants can do very easily on how to market both on email and then maybe a little bit to some extent with using their social tools. Had some ideas in there. Let's walk through them. How would you start? What do you think?
Yeah, so one of the first promotions I started doing was a sponsorship where I was getting banks to actually sponsor caterings to hospitals. And the way that this whole thing came about is a bank had reached out to me, or a buddy of mine who works at a bank says, hey, we want to send out 160 meals to 4 different hospitals. We got a budget of $2,500. Can you do this? So I says, absolutely, we could do this. So we did it and we sent it out. And, he just asked if we put it out on social media, mention their name, to kind of show the community of what this bank was doing. Went really well. People were praising them. They were praising us. And all we did was make the food and deliver it and got paid for it. We weren't donating it or anything. And so I thought, shit, how can I do more of these? So I thought, what if I created a sponsorship and emailed a few other banks? And so that's what I did. So the very first 2 banks I emailed were the 2 that I actually bank with, and just said, hey, it was Midwest Bank did this last week, and we did 160 meals. I came up with a sponsorship to see if other banks would be interested in doing this and giving back to the community. So I used social proof that, hey, this other bank did this, and also, hey, this is going to make you look, this is going to make you look good for the community. And we came up with a package of $1,200. I said, it's $1,200 to do the sponsorship. It's going to get you 80 meals, $15 a piece. We'll deliver it. We'll put it all together. We'll write up a nice letter for you based on, your message to the hospital workers. And, we'll take pictures of that, put it on our social media, put in our email blast to our 5,600 people or so. And the very first 2 banks or people at the banks came back and said, yeah. And since then we've done 5 more, not with banks, but even just other businesses. And people are now reaching out to us saying, hey, how can we do what so-and-so did? How can we do that? What's that cost? So that's the very first thing that I did with email. And that's just personally reaching out to people in businesses. And email works great when it's, one-to-one communication. But what worked really well with that is, mentioning that someone else, another bank did this. Now, will you do this? And I actually bank with these people. So my advice would be to anybody who wants to take that idea, go to your main bank first, the first person you bank with, and say, hey, we came up with these sponsorships where we can, deliver X amount of meals to, the hospital workers. Would you be interested in doing this for, during these tough times with COVID-19? And a good majority of people will say yes. You just can't be scared of failure or rejection, and that was my biggest worry. But it's like, what the fuck do I have to lose?
The worst thing they can do is say no.
Yeah.
But I mean, listen, on a quick recap there, it's awesome, and it's for so many ways, because you're connecting the bank to the hospitals through food. First responders, need the food, need the resources. They're exhausted, they're tired. We want to help out. Restaurants are in a position to help out. So it's a great win-win-win for everybody involved. And of course, there's some PR around it, which is great. But yeah, you're right. You go to the bank you use first. Maybe you got a great relationship with, another, whether it's a car dealer or another big local retailer or someone else in the community, people you already know, you do business with. That's absolutely going to work. And, it's not a no-brainer, but it's pretty close to a no-brainer idea. So I like that idea. Another idea you shared, which I really liked, was about doing pre-sale, right? And we think about pre-sale on Thanksgiving and things like this to get ahead, but this is actually the right moment to do it, and so kitchens can plan ahead. How did you guys implement it?
Yeah, so it's funny you say Thanksgiving, because the first time we did this was for Easter. So again, I used my email list, and I've always done pre-sale events, because the reason why I like doing pre-sale events, whether if it's a comedy show or if it's going to be some kind of dinner special, New Year's Eve, whatever it is exactly how many people you're going to feed, what time they're going to come in. Everything ahead of time. There's no surprise, really. So that's the thing I love about pre-sale. Plus, there's no marketing costs. It's pretty much free when you're emailing. And so what we did a couple weeks ago, we actually did a Thanksgiving style dinner for Easter. Mm-hmm. And, I sent out an email to my email list that says, hey, here's what we're doing. We're pre-selling these ahead of time. I think we charged, $65. They didn't get a whole turkey, but we did a turkey dinner it fed 6 to 8 people, pulled it off the bone and everything, and gave them that and potatoes and, green beans and gravy and a dinner roll, whatever. It doesn't matter what we served them. The whole point is, the strategy. So we did that and we sold all 30 of them. A week later, the next Thursday, this last Thursday, we did, what we do, we did my wife's lasagna. And so we wanted to do 25 of those at $50. And within just one email for that, we sold completely out of them within 24 hours. And we just take them to a PayPal link, so it doesn't have to be PayPal's super simple. They give you a link. You could even, their customer support is great. I haven't called them during COVID, but when I was trying to figure out how to do this through PayPal versus the other software stuff that I use, it was really simple to set up. You can even set up where, if there's only 5 left, we only want to do 25. So I said, when there's 5 left, let me know so I can turn this thing off, once we're out. And they don't have to have a PayPal account. With PayPal, you can use any debit or credit card. So anybody can do it. And so that was great. And then with me, I'm kind of a tech geek when it comes to systematizing things. But after they would order that, I set up an integration where that would then take them to a Google form and they could set up the time that they wanted to pick that up, either 5, 5:30, 6 o'clock. So all that stuff went into a spreadsheet for us. And at the beginning of the day, we had everybody's name, phone number, what time they were picking everything up. And it's all the same meal. So it makes it super, super simple for us to get those out. So the pre-sale events have been doing really, really well. We're going to start doing them every single Thursday and just come up with a new menu item.
Yeah. And listen, I've seen a couple other restaurants do that on their social feed, but the thing that I like about what you said last there is you're going to do it every Thursday now, which is great. I mean, you're still not going to be open for a while and we don't know when that's going to be, but when you do reopen, I think you said to me, hey man, we'll just keep doing this, right? Well, maybe that'll be our Thursday thing. And so I just, that echoes for all the restaurants, the lessons that you're learning now for curbside, takeout, pre-sale, catering, these sponsors, don't drop them as soon as dine-in's back open, as soon as your bar's back open, because this is incremental revenue that now you've learned how to create. Maybe you did some before, but I know that people are learning how to create revenue where they didn't before. So don't drop those. That's all I'm saying. Don't drop them. Use them as add-ons so you can build up and be stronger. So the and last one, as we start to wrap up, this one you are really good at. Folks, this is where they probably struggle. So walk them through how you do this lead capture promotion. It gets a whole bunch of emails for people that might not have a big list yet, or like, hey Nick, man, we got 50 people on our list and we can't do anything. But you really know how to zap that list up. What do you got?
Yeah, so what I call it VOP promotion, viral offer promotion. I'll explain what it is, but basically it's what's called a lead capture promotion also. And that is where you're putting a specific offer out there in front of people. I typically do Facebook to start with because it is by far the most profitable paid advertising media out there. And so we're putting an offer out there on Facebook using posts, but also using ads. That's where most of the leads come from. And so you put that offer out there, and if they want it, you say, click this link and take them to a one-page website, that pretty much just states the offer. Say, hey, if you want this thing, put your information below. We'll send it to you by email. So they put in their information. We send it off to them by email. One of our most recent clients, with COVID coming up or that happened, I've never ran this promotion during, and I'm like, I wonder if this is going to work or not, which it worked out really, really well. So we did this for Hurricane Wings. We did 11-day case study. I'll give you the link for it in case anybody wants to watch it. Yeah. But within 11 days, they did $4,638 in sales, I believe it was. We spent $112 on ads. So that was a 4,041% ROI or something like that. I looked this morning actually, and now they're at like $9,100 in sales. And I think we're 23 or 24 days into it, meaning we spend $10 a day. So $240, $250 on ads, $9,100 back in sales, specifically just from this promotion. And the reason why these work so well, or the reason why I like these so much, is because you could spend, let's say, $300 this month, $10 a day on ads, right? And the whole idea here is to put out a great offer in order to get the people's contact information, because now these people are saying, hey, I want to do business with you. Here's my information. Send me the offer. Who on earth would you ever rather market to about a new special, new promotion, your next pre-sale dinner, than people who have personally says, hey, Nick, I want to do business with you. Here's my information. These are the most profitable people to market to on the planet. And so that's why I love running these so much. And the reason why we're able to get like a 20 to 25% redemption rate on these most of the time is because we give them 10 days to use the offer from the day that they sign up. So if they sign up on April 1st, it expires on April 11th. If it expires on April 20th, or if they sign up on April 20th, it'll expire on the 30th. And then we have 3-step follow-up place, where they get the email on the first day. Day 6, we say, hey, you only got another 4 more days to use this, and then the very last day, or the day 9, we send another email to them, to remind them, because people do get busy. They're not as busy today as they were, a month and a half ago. But still people forget from signing up from stuff and whatever online. But yeah, the VOP promotion, lead capture promotions work really, really well. And, it builds your email list, and it builds an asset that you could use for months to even years on end, right? We can spend $300 this month. And I think we've gotten 1,800 people to sign up for this offer so far. Nice. They're averaging like 110 redemptions a week. So 110 people call in there, to place orders. And it's all done through curbside or through the phone. They can't do it through Grubhub or whatever else with that specific offer. And so, yeah, that's been working out really, really well. And we're getting started to knock that out for a couple more new clients that we brought on who are trying to get their phone to ring.
I was jotting stuff down because I was writing down numbers and stuff like that. But the 2 things that stood out to me was the $10 a day, which is like $300 a month. And if some people say, hey, listen, I don't have $5,000 to advertise, that's great because you don't need it. You really can do as a local restaurant, $10 a day into your budget in Facebook, and it works. You can see those numbers are good. So I also wrote down the systematized part. That's really another benefit of part. They get, 1 email, 2 emails, 3 emails. So you want to be in a system that does that. And I know Nick knows how to do that. So make sure that's part of it for sure. So those are the tips that I wrote in there. So good, man. I mean, we covered quite a few things. We talked about email in general, making sure we do the headlines right, and the personal voice was good. I love that stuff. We did the sponsorship stuff. You definitely use that, folks. We did pre-sale, and we just talked about how to do lead capture, build your list right now. You can actually build your list right now, even though we're in really weird times for restaurants. So closing thoughts, parting thoughts. What do you think?
Yeah, I've been asked multiple times before, like if you had to start from scratch, if you had to build a bar restaurant from scratch, what would be the very first, promotion you would start with? It would always be what I like to call the viral offer promotion or, lead capture promotion. And I forgot to go where the viral part comes in. When you put that out on a post, you ask people, in order for them to receive it, you ask them to like the post and share the post and tag a friend on the post. Mm-hmm. And that's what makes it go viral locally. So I don't mean trying to hit, millions of people around the world because, people 20 miles, 30 miles, 100 miles aren't really going to come to your bar, your restaurant. You want to hit viral locally around your business. So that's what really kicks this thing off with a bang locally. Then you add the ads onto it too of $10 a day, and it goes crazy. So one last thing I'll just mention, if anybody is interested in doing this, one thing I'm doing for COVID-19, I used to charge $2,000 to build this out. Now we're doing only $1,000, and I'm guaranteeing them a minimum of 1,000% ROI, or they don't pay the $1,000, and I will even pay them back their ad spend. Now, can I do this for just any bar restaurant? No, the people who I'm looking for are bars, restaurants who obviously have a kitchen that's open, who's doing curbside or delivery, and has a reputable business, right? If they got to be on Bar Rescue or Restaurant Impossible, I can't really help them. But if they have a great reputation, it's not hard to get people to want to order food from them. So if anybody's interested in getting their phone ringing, I'm happy to do this. Totally no risk to them, and doing this at half price because of COVID.
Good. Yeah. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Obviously everyone's looking to save dollars. So I appreciate that. So what I like about it is don't reinvent the wheel. And Nick's kind of has a system in here where him and his team can really kind of put this out and do it fast. You don't have to kind of figure stuff out. So we will make sure to, whether it's the show notes or the pages this sits on, we'll put the link to the video where Nick talks about exactly this and runs through the campaign. So I think that'll be helpful to see. So we'll make sure that's included. Good. I covered a lot there, folks. Nick Fosberg from Bar and Restaurant Success. Be sure to check out the link to the video that we'll have for you that Nick mentioned. And so as far as our side on running restaurants, we're going to have more great marketing tips for you coming. We'll talk about the PPP stuff that's going. So all this COVID stuff still flowing. Stay tuned to us here at runningrestaurants.com. We'll see you next time. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, Jamie.